So I'm Taylor Dash. I am a real estate agent with EG Realty here in Temple, Texas. This is part 3 of my 5-part investor series. In part 1, we talked about why Temple. In part 2, we talked about my process to get you into an investment property, grow the portfolio from out of state without ever even getting on a plane. In part 3, we're going to be talking about property management, how to find them, what to ask them, what you should pay for property management, everything that has to do with property management. All right, so whenever you buy a property, you really have 3 options for property management. So you can do a full service property management, you can do a hybrid property management, or you can manage it yourself. And so typically for out-of-state investors, the full service option is the way to go, but everybody's goals are different. So we are going to get into that today, and we're going to go through each of them and kind of find out which one is best for you. So let's get right into it. What does a good property manager cost in Temple, Texas? So to let you know, I manage my own properties, but I have used property managers in the past. Typically, decent property manager is going to charge you 8 to 10% of the monthly rent and 50% of the first month's rent to get a tenant in place. And then this is a good question to ask because some property management companies, they'll also charge 10 to 15%, above the maintenance requests, the maintenance repairs for the repair. So if the plumber charges them $100, they're going to charge you $110. So if the property is renting for $1,700 a month, you can expect around $170 per month for property management. So I always work that into my deals. If the property doesn't cash flow with property management, it just doesn't, the numbers just don't work. Because if you're not gonna manage the property from out of state, even if you are gonna manage the property from out of state, what happens if you get a promotion or something, or you don't have that much time? You need a property manager. So if it's a possibility, we're gonna run the numbers with property management. All right, so what do you look for in a property manager? So number 1 is that you wanna make sure that they have experience managing single family homes. A lot of property managers, they only really do, duplexes, quadplexes, or more. So and the reason that's an issue is that is a much lower price point for the rentals here, and maybe that could lead to them having a screening process that isn't as ideal for somebody who owns a single family home, because a lot of the low income housing, they have issues, their credit's lower. I've had a cheap rental in the past, and the applications are a lot different. So you want to make sure that this property manager does have experience with single family homes. And then on that point, you want to know for you, what is their screening process? You want to know what they look at. If they, like for me personally, for mine, I have something, it's called Smart Move. It gives me a full picture of like their financial history, their credits from a long time ago, if they've ever been evicted, if they've ever filed for bankruptcy, they've ever been to jail, stuff like that. So you want to make sure they're doing a good background check on these people, because this is your investment, and that's one of the things you can do to protect your investment. So why not do it? And then I've never had to do an eviction, but the other thing that I would want to know is their eviction process. Texas is a landlord-friendly state, so you can do an eviction. If they don't pay the rent, you can do an eviction fairly quickly. So I want to make sure that my property manager has an aggressive eviction process where they can get the tenant out and get you replaced with a new tenant that's paying in the lowest amount of time possible. Because if you don't, that can really drag the process out, and you're going to kill your cash flow. You're going to kill a lot of profit on this property. You could wipe out a whole year of profit by a few months of not paying rent. Their communication style, do you go online? Do they give you a call? Do they send you a full income report? Every time the tenant pays rent, what is their communication style? Does it vibe with you? You know, I don't really go off of the vibes. I prefer like they shoot me an email and they send me a little report at the end of the year, and that's it. I'm good with that. But everybody's style is different. And then you want to know what their maintenance network is look like, what their maintenance network looks like, who they have on call, if there's going to be any issues like with an emergency repair, and then if they, like I said earlier, if they charge you extra for the maintenance call. So listen, I have curated a list. It's going to be, actually you're going to have to go to my site for this, but it's going to be all the property management companies that I trust. And also the other thing is that some of these property management companies have requirements. So I'm going to put their requirements in their description, so that way you don't waste your time calling somebody who's not even going to manage the property that you're going to buy. So, but that's all going to be on my website. Feel free to go there. People think I'm like just like promoting my website. My website does not, it's just a value piece. There's no barrier to entry on this website. You don't have to sign up. There's nothing. So go to the website. It's extremely valuable. All right, let's keep going. When does self-management work? If you have like a complete like tech system, you got like rent ready. I can't even name the other ones off the top of my head. There's a few like systems that really have a thorough process and it's all within the system. And then you can put like a smart lock on the door, give the code, and you have me also. I'm always happy to go show the property, especially if it's in Temple. I'm happy to do whatever I can to make sure that you have a good experience. And then you're really gonna have all of the tools that you need to be able to manage it from out of state, because I have plumbers that I can call. I have electricians, I have handymen. I have pretty much every contractor that you can think of that I'm gonna give to you, and you can call them. So you really can manage it from out of state, but it's just like if I were like a high-end executive, you know, I wouldn't want to be calling people for that. I wouldn't want to be, you know, getting bothered with that. So it's more of a want rather than a need. But I always recommend it from out of state, because I mean, you can go on vacation, and that's the worst. Going on vacation and having a tenant calling you with an issue just gets you out of that vacation mode. But like I said, I manage my own properties, and I can give you a step-by-step. I can walk you through it. I can help you get it posted. I can post it. I've done quite a bit for my clients. Like I'll just get it rented out, no cost, and do everything. So I don't know if I want to manage it. I probably give you a good deal on the property management though. Like I've done some deals with my clients for, I'll do 5% and no half. You don't have to pay half for the first month. Really, if you buy a house with me, you're gonna get hooked up really, because I don't mind that. I'm in the growth phase here. I want you to be happy. I want you to feel like I'm doing a good job, and I want you to grow the portfolio as fast as you can and as efficiently as you can. All right, what are some red flags whenever you're looking for a property manager? One of them is a property manager who guarantees that there's not gonna be any occupancy, because they can't see in the future. They don't know. The only way they can guarantee that is if they price your home well below market value. The next one is property managers. Who they don't want to give you any information on the maintenance records. They don't want to give you access after you've been a client of theirs. They won't give you access to their maintenance records. I have had a client who had a property manager that she told me what they were charging her for, like, I think it was to repair a fence picket or something. I was like, that doesn't sound right. She requested it. They would not give her any access to the maintenance records or the receipts or anything. You want to always ask about the tenant turnover. If you have a high tenant turnover, that's an issue. Tenants will leave because of property manager like laziness, or the property manager being rude. To them, it's a house. They can go rent another house. And then typically property managers, they're happy to give you references, or they have the references online already, from other out-of-state investors that they can show you to have some sort of proof from somebody else that they're doing a good job. That is the property management portion of the series. This is what you need to get that portfolio going in auto drive. But if you get it wrong, you're gonna hate being a landlord. Next up, we got part 4. This is the real deal math. We're going to get into this live of deals that are on the market here in Temple, Texas. I'm going to actually do this live. I'm going to show you the purchase price. I'm going to show you the rental rates, how the numbers work with all of the expenses added in, your cash flow, your cap rate, cash on cash return. We are going to get deep into this. This is what most investors actually skip. So it's going to be a good one. Stay tuned for that. I hope y'all enjoy this video, guys. If you are planning to invest out of state in Texas, reach out to me. I'm gonna get you set up in the best property to grow your portfolio. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me, you can schedule an appointment with me down below on my Calendly. I hope y'all enjoy this video. Let's get it.